Hello everybody, welcome to another tutorial on BeepStreet Drambo, the modular groovebox. In this video I'm going to demonstrate how you can use the Unison rack. So it's very straightforward, so let's go and add from the utility category. Let's scroll down and find Unison. And for simplicity, let's also add under generator an FM operator, like so. So let's bring up the keys and let's click on some of the keys. Okay, perfect. Let's give it a bit of sustain. And a little bit of character as well, with a bit more feedback. Okay, let's lock the keyboard. Right, so how does it work? It works traditionally as any other Unison effects or features you've seen in other synths. So it multiplies the number of voices. So in this case we have one voice going coming from the MIDI to CV rack and going into the Unison's rack, and at the moment it's set to have only one voice as output, but can increase that up to 8. And as you can hear, the sound is thicker. But the beauty comes when you actually change the detuning between the different voices, so you can create a nice spread between the, in this case, 8 voices. Okay, so let's try. And just to give you an idea, let's decrease a little bit of volume, otherwise I know it will be a bit too high, but let's hear a note, holding a note and changing the detuning. Interesting effect, isn't it? So before continuing with the demonstration, what is important to remember is that you have a limitation in terms of polyphony. So as you know, 8. So you can have a maximum of 8 notes per track. So, and as you use the Unison to multiply the number of voices, you have to remember that the maximum cannot exceed 8. So in this case, if you, for example, say you set the number of voices here to 8, but you're trying to multiply into 8, the Unison model will actually skip, in this case, 7 notes. So if I press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Number 8 will play, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 will not play. Number 8 will play again. So remember that between the two, in this case the MIDI to CV, the number of notes which are going through the Unisons and the multiplies of voices here, you cannot be in excess of 8. So if you have, for example, a chord of 3, so the maximum number of voices that you have here without stilling or skipping between notes is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Because if you make the voices 3 times 3 is 9, and it will be over the 8th polyphony limit. And the magic really with the Unison rack is that you can start now to play using, for example, modulation sources. So let's try. So let's add a modulator, a mini LFO, and drive the detuning from the mini LFO. So let's put these to roughly the middle, the LFO to maximum. Decrease a little bit the frequency, is definitely bipolar, so it will be positive and negative, and let's try. Okay, let's decrease the frequency a bit. And let's listen to the difference, and let's increase a little bit the frequency back again. And let's hear the difference when you have only one voice going through, but you multiply those by 8. Really interesting. So let's go back to have a chord of 3 notes. So let's put the voice down number to 2. Let's Also add, why not, a filter, also some delay effect, and also a reverb plate. Let's increase the cutoff, something like that. Really interesting again. So let's now make it even more interesting. Let's take these feedback down to the center and let's drive that again by the same LFO. And why not, let's add another mini LFO here, and we use that to drive the cutoff in on the filter module, like so. Okay, let's increase the frequency there. Really interesting texture, really interesting sound coming through. So let's add another FM operator, why not, like so. And as you can see, the FM connection is already been established. Let's add a sustain here, and why not. And then let's add also another modulator, another mini LFO, and let's drive the FM mount here inside the first FM operator from the LFO number 3. Okay, and let's try. Really interesting sound again. Let's decrease the amount of LFO 3. Again, let's test these with one monophonic note going into the Unison rack. Let's make it a little bit more responsive here on the filter. So as you can see, unlimited possibility really. Again, I normally like to play with chords, so I select that the voices to 3 on the MIDI to CV module, and I put the Unison back to 2. And then what I like to do is to decrease the speed on the filter. And perhaps decrease a little bit the influence on LFO3. Increase the attack from FM operator 2 and also the decay. And of course you can play as you like with the other effect, right? More feedback, more mixture on the reverb. So as you can hear, very cool effect that you can achieve with different rack modules in Drambo, but also the use of the Unison rack. I hope you found this useful and enjoyed. See you at the next tutorial. Bye.